Hi everyone, I'm Dom from Sony and I'd like to welcome you once again to another episode of Explore Xperia, the series where we aim to show you some new and useful features on your Xperia device. And today we'll be taking a closer look at the Xperia Pro and what makes it different and how you can use some of its unique features such as the HDMI input and what that enables you to do and some of the smaller details that elevate this Xperia to Pro status. Let's get right into this. This is the world's first smartphone with a HDMI input. Not only that, but the signal you can feed into this device can be up to 4K at 60 frames per second and in 10-bit color, which is an ideal match for the Xperia Pro's 4K HDR OLED display, which also supports the BT 2020 color space. Now, you may be thinking, okay, so I can feed a HDMI signal into a smartphone, what do I do now? Well, the Xperia Pro comes preloaded with Sony's external monitor app. Now, I have demonstrated this before, but that was through a USB-C connection on the Xperia 1 Mark II and 5 Mark II. But connecting to the Xperia Pro through HDMI brings higher quality and lower latency. Okay, back to the external monitor app. This will give you a real-time view of what your camera is seeing. And because the display on the Xperia Pro is not just 4K, but also HDR, and it supports the BT 2020 color space and 10-bit color, you are going to get an extremely color accurate image on this display, which really is so important when you're shooting professional photos or videos. You'll also be able to check the signal quality you're feeding into the Xperia Pro up here, and over on the other side you can lock the display, you can change the brightness, you can add grid lines or frame lines so you can make sure that everything is framed up as it should be, and you can even flip the entire display 180 degrees depending on your setup. Oh, and at the bottom you've also got some extra settings to further customize your experience. But if you wanted to see an exact replica of what your viewfinder looks like this, you can set that up in your camera settings. That way you can see your audio levels and your aperture and your shutter speed settings, the whole lot. This is really useful if you love using the viewfinder on the back of your camera, but it's just either not big enough or you just can't angle it exactly how you want it to be. Having a high quality signal going into the Xperia Pro also means you can take advantage of the screen recording function in Android 11. So you can always have a backup of your video shoot stored locally on the handset just in case you lose your memory card or it somehow gets corrupted before you're able to back it up to your computer. Okay, now let's talk about the power of 5G and how the Xperia Pro can help you connect to an audience through live streaming. This is actually a pretty unique feature which is made possible through the addition of the HDMI input at the bottom, and it's so easy to set up. If you want to start streaming straight to YouTube, make sure your camera is connected to the Xperia Pro and go into the YouTube app, which comes pre-installed on your handset. Now, this isn't some special version of it. This is the same YouTube app that is on pretty much any Android handset. Just bear in mind that if you use this method, you do need to have at least 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Now, if you haven't hit that milestone just yet, don't worry. There are some third-party applications that will still allow you to stream to YouTube through the Xperia Pro. Hit the plus button at the bottom and select Go Live. Here, you'll be able to set up your live stream. You know, give it a title, select your audience, etc. But up in the top left corner, you can actually switch the camera to the one connected through the HDMI cable. It is possible to stream to other platforms as well, but you may require one of those third-party applications I mentioned before, downloaded from the Google Play Store to do so. But you see how easy it is to start live streaming? This is perfect for vloggers or content creators of any kind who want a new way of connecting to their existing audience, or perhaps to reach new viewers in real time with the camera of their choice and to be able to do it all over 5G. Speaking of 5G, the Xperia Pro is, well, it's built different. This handset has got a unique arrangement of antenna on the inside to ensure that you always get the strongest possible signal, no matter how you hold it. There's even a visualizer app so you can actually see where the signal is coming from. Now, why is this important, you may ask? Well, because if you are a professional photographer, videographer, photojournalist, or paparazzo with an FTP server, you can actually tether the Xperia Pro to your camera, locate where you'll get the strongest signal from, connect to your FTP server remotely, and get those all-important shots to your editor faster. This handset can actually streamline your workflow and could mean the difference between your content appearing on the front page or not. And it doesn't stop there. Sony have also included an endurance mode if you need to stay connected to high-speed 5G for longer periods of time. And there are the little things that really show that this was built with professionals in mind. Like the fact that you can tether through the USB port or charge the handset through USB whilst it's still connected through the HDMI cable. And also the embossed camera shutter keys when you're using the fantastic camera on the device itself. And also the custom key, which can be programmed to open any application you want, so you can yet again streamline your workflow out in the field. Oh, and the headphone jack. Need I say more? The Xperia Pro brings yet another world's first to the smartphone world with the addition of the HDMI input at the bottom. It can act as a 4K HDR OLED external monitor for your camera, and also a way of getting the highest quality live streams to your followers and fans anywhere thanks to the power of 5G. And of course, it can streamline your workflow as a professional photographer or videographer, and that is why it has earned the word Pro in its name. Thank you so much for joining me today on Explore Xperia, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.